About 6 months ago, my kid suddenly had a severe stomach pain, and we ended up taking a trip to the emergency room. At that moment, I knew it wasn't anything serious, but the pain was so intense, I wanted to give some meds to reduce the pain. When it comes to your child, it's hard to make the decision, right? Can you guess how much was the bill? It was a 1497. I know this isn't much for ER visit, but it's still a lot of money, right? So today I'm going to explain how you can determine the possible causes of stomach pain based on where it's located in the stomach. This will give you a better idea of whether you need to rush to the ER or if it's something you might be able to manage on your own with some rest and care. Remember, this information isn't just useful for you. It's something you can share with others who might benefit, like parents with young children or people living alone who may not know how to interpret their symptoms. Let's get started. First things first, you should lay down and lift your leg slightly. This position will help you get a better view and feel of abdomen. And of course, you will need to lift your shirt. So you get a clear view like a rash, a blister, or like a bulge. Let's start with number one, located on the upper right side of the abdomen. Here you will find the liver, one of the body's largest and most important organs. The liver has a bile duct expanding like this, and right beneath it lies the gallbladder. The liver is often called a silent organ because it doesn't usually cause pain unless there's a significant damage. So, if you're experiencing sudden sharp pain in this area, it's much more likely to be related to the gallbladder. Acute gallbladder pain is typically not related to eating and is more intense than discomfort you feel from something like indigestion or gastroenteritis. Gallstone, for instance, cause intermittent, sharp, or cramping pain. On a pain scale chart, this might range from 4 to 7. Of course, this number varies by individual and not accurate, but for the video purposes, I will use the pain scale chart. Cholecystitis, which is an inflammation of gallbladder, causes constant throbbing pain, and pain level is about 7 to 9. And cholangitis, an infection of bile ducts, causes constant pain with a fever, and a pain level is about 8 to 10. You know, I said acute gallbladder pain is typically not related to the eating, right? But chronic pain in this area is often tied to your diet, especially after eating fatty or high fat meals. If you notice a pattern where pain follows after a heavy meal, this could be your clue that gallbladder is involved. So, keeping track of what you eat and how your body reacts can be incredibly useful. Moving on to number two, which is the upper middle part of the abdomen. Here, we typically consider two main possibilities, the stomach and the pancreas. For stomach, you might suspect conditions like acute gastritis or stomach cramps. These could come with symptoms like nausea, vomiting, or heartburn, though not everyone with gastritis will experience heartburn. The pain from gastritis is usually dull, while stomach cramp can feel crampy and squeezing pain. And here is the pain level for these two. I will share a summarized chart at the end of the video so you don't have to pause it. Now, the pancreas is located behind the stomach. And because of this location, some people actually describe the pain as radiating to their back. Or they might say it feels like tight band or belt squeezing them. Pancreatitis, which is an inflammation of a pancreas, cause more intense pain than typical stomach pain. On the pain scale, this could easily be an 8 to 10. The pain can be so severe that you might find yourself like hunched over, trying to curl up like a shrimp because this position can sometimes bring a temporary relief. This is the key difference in recognizing pancreatic pain. Okay, number three, on the upper left side of the abdomen, where the spleen is located. Spleen pain is relatively rare, but it can happen. You might feel spleen pain if you experience a significant impact, like from a car accident or injury during sports. In some cases, splenic infraction or internal bleeding could be the cause. And this pain is usually sharp with a pain level around 8 to 10. If you have any history of trauma or injury of the spleen, this is something to keep it in mind. Now, number 4, 5, and 6. These areas are a bit trickier because they generally involve the small and large intestine. Pinpointing the exact location of intestinal pain can be challenging because the nerve in the intestine that detect the pain aren't as densely packed as they are in other parts of the body, like the skin. This means that the pain can be felt vague and hard to localize, something we call it as visceral pain. For example, if you pinch your arm, you know exactly where it hurts, right? But with the intestine, it's not so straightforward. This is why identifying the source of intestinal pain can be more complicated. So, when does the intestinal pain become more intense? The intestine are tube-shaped like organs, right? So they are most sensitive to pain when they are expanded. Can you guess what is the most common reason for this expansion? It's gas. If gas builds up and doesn't pass through, it can cause a significant pain. Massaging it might provide some temporary relief, but the pain often comes back and tends to move around because it's gas. You will often find that the pain is most noticeable in these areas where the intestine bends and have angles. People who struggle with the regular bowel movements might experience this type of pain frequently, but even those who aren't constipated or have frequent diarrhea also can have this pain. Like I mentioned in the previous video, even if you have a diarrhea, that doesn't mean your intestine is emptied out. There might be leftover stool producing gas, especially around this area. This type of a pain can be difficult to treat with conventional medicine, but with the Eastern medicine, particularly with herbs, this is an easy fix. So, when you're dealing with the pain in number 4, 5, and 6, it's usually related to the intestine. Pain from gastroenteritis might range from 3 to 6 on the pain scale, but gas-related pain can reach up to 10. So, if you're unable to pass gas or haven't gone to the bathroom, focusing on getting the gas out, bowel movements out first. Next, let's talk about number 7, which is probably the most well-known area of concern because it's where you feel the pain of appendicitis. With appendicitis, the pain typically starts in number 2, so in the upper middle of the stomach. At first, you might also notice indigestion and nausea, so you often mistakenly think that, oh, I've eaten something wrong today. And as the inflammation progresses, the pain moves down to the number 5, where might be mimic the symptom of gastroenteritis. And finally, all the pains it settles in the position 7, the lower part of the abdomen. Remember how I mentioned that the intestines are less sensitive to pain? When the inflammation is confined to the appendix, the pain might feel mild and slightly uncomfortable around the belly button. But as the inflammation spread and touches the abdominal wall, which is the muscle that are much more sensitive, the pain becomes much sharper and more severe. If you press the area and it hurts, and especially if it's still hurt after you release the pressure, you could be dealing with the appendicitis. The pain level here can range from 7 to 9. Diverticulitis is another condition to be aware of. It happens when small pouches called diverticula form in the intestinal wall, often in large intestine. If these pouches become inflamed, it causes intermittent pain, which can occur in number 9 as well. The pain level can range from 6 to 8. Appendicitis is typically diagnosed with ultrasound, but diverticulitis is more easily identified with a CT scan. If the pain is in the lower abdomen and you're a woman, it's also important to consider gynecological issue, as the ovary are also located in this area. In number 8, while intestinal issue could be the cause, for women, gynecological reasons are more common, such as a condition like adenomyosis. For women, if you have any persistent or severe pain in this area, you need to go see a gynecologist. Finally, in number 9, which involves the descending colon, pain is most commonly related to the constipation or buildup of stool. But if you're over 40, diverticulitis becomes a more likely possibility. For women, ovarian problem could also be the source of the pain here. Okay, since we covered the abdominal area, let me briefly talk about flank pain, which isn't exactly the abdomen, but it's close enough, right? If one side of your flank suddenly starts to hurt intensely and you experience like nausea or vomiting, you might suspect a kidney stone. And on top of it, if you also have a fever, it could be a kidney infection. If you want to check for this, try gently tapping the affected area of the back, like this. And if the person screams out in pain, a kidney infection is more likely. Another condition to consider is a shingle, which can sometimes present with the pain in the abdomen or the back before the characteristic rash appears. But remember, not all shingles have blister or rash. It can be just burning and sharp pain. Shingles can flare up and then come down and flare up again, especially in people with the compromised immune system. So it's something to keep in mind if you're experiencing unexplained pain in this area. So today, we have covered various types of abdominal pain, what they might mean based on their location. I will summarize everything on the screen one more time. Remember to save this information for future reference, and if you or someone you know ever experience abdominal pain, you'll be better equipped to make quick decisions and seek for appropriate care. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe, and remember, health is wealth, so invest in yourself. This is Dr. Sean making health easy for you. Have a great long weekend. Bye!